Y'all, I don't know what is in the air today, but whew, it's like mental breakdown mode. Am I the only one? I don't know. It could just be something, my hormones changing, estrogen tanking or something like that. I don't know. I also went to a healing retreat, trauma healing retreat this past weekend. And it was, it's always hard to talk about, your life, your stuff that you, are trying to get over, and then like you relive it basically when you're trying to talk about it or whatever. I learned some good skills there about emotional regulation and, different things that I didn't learn growing up. And overall, it was probably good that I went, but I don't know if I'm a wreck now because, I just got back yesterday. So I don't know if it was just like I had 4 easy days, kind of, where I didn't have to cook at all. And I was just having all my meals made for me. All I had to do was attend workshops, go down by the river, go out to the creek, go on, field trips and different various things to like waterfalls and stuff. So like it was enjoyable, but it was also emotional. So I don't know if I'm just like mental breakdown mode because of that, or if something is in the air, because we know who's the power of the airways, right? Like who's in control of the airways. I believe electricity plays into that, probably Wi-Fi, probably a lot of things. I remember reading the patents for some technology that they've created like a long time ago where they can actually pulse frequencies through your device. Go figure, right? They call it what it is, device. It's literally like a black mirror, and they can literally pulse frequencies into it and put thoughts in your mind. They can bring on certain emotional states out of nowhere because they just know what frequencies do that in the brain, and everything, we know everything's energy and frequencies. Even physical matter is. So, I don't know. How are y'all feeling? Because, woo, I'm not feeling great. And, this past year's been crazy anyway. Just with the paradigm shifts, one after another. And then all sorts of other stuff where it's like, now you got to decide, like, what's truth? Is it the thing I thought was truth, or is it this new thing they're presenting me with? And you're always having to like challenge your beliefs over and over and over, and that's hard enough as it is. That's why most people don't want to do it. They're just like, nah, I'm not interested in that. Whatever you're talking about, like I just don't care. I gotta wake up tomorrow and go to work, so none of that matters to me. And I'm like, I get that, but if you knew the depth of the lies and what it means and how the Bible's actually true, you might care. You might care a little bit. But they think they don't. And since they don't care to look into truth, they're just continuing through this mundane, hard life that the enemy has set up to be that way on purpose so that we don't have time to like enjoy our families, time to enjoy this life, time to do much of anything but work, pay the bills, die. It's kind of sickening. And so, wouldn't you want to know if you're being lied to? Maybe if we all woke up, we could be like, no, we're not doing this anymore. Let's create a new system. Would that cause a lot of issues? And yeah, probably. I'm not saying it would be very streamlined if we had to take over and set up something new. I don't even know if it'd be possible, to be honest. Enough of the people might fight to where they're like, no, we don't want a change to the system. We like it the way it is. We like being slaves, whatever. Don't know. And I don't know how many people are NPCs. I don't know if everybody in this world is real. We really don't know. All we know is that we are real. Like, I have people in my life that I'm pretty darn sure, but I'm not them. I can't see through their lenses and be like, yep, you check out. But I mean, I do trust that they're real people, because you do have a feeling, if you spend enough time with people, that they're real. But you don't, like, you can't see it from their eyes. So you don't really know for sure. But that being said, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's other real people in the world. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not the only one. I'm just saying a lot of them could be NPCs, or at least they act like it. It's hard to say, because I mean, there's some people that I'm like, huh? You don't like nature? Is that even possible? Like, you're born into this world. Like, how could you not see the beauty in trees and flowing water and the sky and the stars? And I mean, if the stars are real, I still think they're pretty if they're not real. I still like to look up there and see what I see. I mean, because my DNA, my soul knows God's up there, you know? So we're always keeping our eyes on the skies, right? But could it be a hologram? Sure. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know the shape of the earth. I'm just pretty sure it's not what they say it is, because they go through so much lengths to convince us it's this thing that doesn't even make sense. So if you've already woken up to the shape of the earth, let's just say flat earth, because really the flat earth conspiracy is not claiming that the earth is flat, because it's obviously not. We have mountains. It just means we don't think it's a spinning water ball in an infinite universe. We don't believe that anymore, because the Bible says otherwise. And so once you realize that they're lying, then you're like, most Christians, especially Christians, are gonna be like, all right, wait, what's the Bible say? What does the Bible say about the shape of the earth, if anything? Because most of us maybe have read some of it, maybe all of it, but if you're seeing it through the lens of science, then you're not taking it super literally, because you're like, oh yeah, you know, they didn't know the shape of the earth yet because they hadn't been to the moon. So you kind of just, that stuff just goes like, you know, over your head, especially since that's what pastors will say, you know, they believe that. So, I mean, that's not necessarily true. So they're basically saying the Bible's not true if they're discounting accounts in the Bible that might prove more of a flat realm. Not flat, there's still mountains, but not ball, right? So basically, it's crazy. You really almost do have to find out that the earth's not a spinning ball first. It like breaks the spell, and then you're like, all right, so we can take the Bible literally and actually believe what it says. How cool. And so now you're like really interested in the Bible, and you're like reading it, and you may even get a YouTube video suggestion like Jesus already returned, and you're like, what? Well, I mean, I'll almost believe anything at this point. Let me watch this video. And then they start on with like, no, the Bible's literal, and Jesus said he would return within their generation, before some of them standing there in front of him died. And it says it multiple times, and he tells Caiaphas, you will see me returning in the clouds. It's like in more than one place. It's been confirmed by more than 2 witnesses. You know how we got to do that, right? We got to make sure that multiple witnesses confirm this idea that we think we're getting. And yeah, it's confirmed. Like he said, like, I'm coming back quick. It's not 2,000 years later in some random generation. No, it's imminent. And it was, and I believe he did return. But it's crazy how you kind of have to start taking the Bible literally and believe what it says literally before you reach this conclusion. So if you think you reached the end of the rabbit hole and you learned that we're not on a spinning water ball, just look into the little season. And, you know, it's really hard to disprove because the Bible says it, you know? And if it's not true that he already returned, then we can't trust the words in that book at all. And that's a bigger problem, because then what do we have? So I tend to just believe that, yeah, like we're in the little season. It just makes sense. So just so you know, flat earth is not the end of the rabbit hole. Keep on digging. I mean, if you're a Bible believer, and even if you're not, like, even if you thought the Bible was archaic and not true and not worth reading before, because, I mean, if you don't have an experience with God, that kind of pushes you to want to read the Bible and understand it, then I could see somebody rejecting it, because as C.S. Lewis said, like, Jesus said he was returning and he didn't. He lied. Like, he said he was returning in their generation, like, but he didn't. But he did. That's the thing, is he did. And that's what he didn't know yet, because this whole thing, this little season eschatology, had not come out yet, so he didn't get to learn that he was right to think that. I mean, he was. Just think about it, right? But if he'd really thought about it, I mean, if he'd really anchored his truth in the Bible, then he would have realized, well, he had to have returned. But like, if you look at the historical narrative and you don't realize that we're being lied to in every single arena, then you wouldn't get that they just hid it and that he actually did return. It's crazy. This world right now in Little Season is crazy. And I'm feeling crazy. Am I crazy? Some days I feel like I am. I mean, I've been through enough, like, yeah. I mean, I feel like if you're not crazy, something's wrong with you. This world is insane. The way we put everything first that shouldn't be, and everything that's important just takes a back seat. And it's just like work for money, but like doing a stupid job that actually is meaningless. Like, it would make sense if you were like working your butt off to get that wheat harvested, or to get those vegetables harvested, or to get those chickens fed. But like, you're working your butt off to send out reports for a company that does something that's not even like necessary for life. So it's just so backwards. And that's another proof of why we're in the little season. And another reason is just like, it just feels crazy. It's just all so crazy. And I still, I'm not 100% sure of anything at this point. I mean, except that God exists. I mean, I can't deny that. That cannot be denied. But definitely need to, like, really lean into Him when you start feeling crazy. And I need to take my own advice. Probably go back to reading some Bible and really get grounded, because I just like, too much. I think I'm done with like conspiracies for a while. I just need to get back in the Word and just ask Him to just put my mind at ease, make sure I've got the truth, keep me grounded, heal me because I can't do it, and just help me to endure.